on, helmet. 10 seconds.
Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
We're all about cross-country racing, and usually it starts with 10 seconds.
But not in Iowa. In Iowa, we start with hands-on helmets.
Short.
You know what I'm trying to do right now?
What are you trying to do?
In all my preparation, I'm trying to look at the results. I haven't even got a chance to look at the results yet.
Good. I mean, some of us have some of them printed. And
I got to give you credit, though. You had them done before I left on Sunday, I think.
The posted, yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I had most of the points done. All the youth are done before we even started adults. So trying to keep on top of that.
Huh.
Just putting the last few touches on some of those adult classes before we post. So.
Gotcha. No, that was pretty cool. I got your text saying it was posted, and I was like, really? Like, wow, this is pretty cool.
And if you're really paying attention, I had the youth posted like 5 minutes after each race.
Really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, yeah, we're trying to stay on top of it. That's easy when everything goes right. And gosh, it was an amazing day. I mean, we were a good day. I don't want to jinx us, but man, scoring, I think we only had 2 hiccups. I mean, it was good.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
That's a good day. Yeah, I think everything went really, really well. Few, like you said, only a tiny little things that could have been prevented. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that we had to deal with. But outside of that, yeah, I thought it was a great day. So, but so have you had to breathe since you got home? Got a chance?
Yeah, a little bit. It'll be the last podcast from this location.
Oh, we're moving again.
Yep. Friday's the day everything's going to take place. So
moving on up,
which there's nothing, and I'm got my computer chair and I'm on a folding table because everything else is gone. So
someday you might have to tell that story about all of your moving extravagant. You could probably make a kid story out of that.
No, I'm good. So, how was your short week? You left the track on Sunday? You stayed overnight Saturday?
Yep.
How much rain did you guys?
Had a lot of people stay. Got another half inch on Saturday night, so wasn't bad at all. Just made it a little soft that morning, but I think only had to pull one person out. Good. Big Joe.
Oh.
Big Joe. So, yeah, outside of that, everything was good. Can't complain at all. A lot of people spent the night. Seeing a lot of people hanging out, having fun on Saturday night. It was really nice. So,
good. Yeah. Good to hear. All right.
Well,
we talk about the race, but we do have a guest this week. He came in.
Who's the guest?
We have Jason Smith.
Ooh, I knew you were going to surprise me.
Yeah, he surprised me too on what was that, Friday night? Gave me a little scare. Sorry, I wasted $5 worth of your gas again.
What happened?
Oh, we can bring him on. We can tell the story.
I'm anxious to hear this now.
Yeah. Let's bring him on. Hey, welcome, Jason.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
So,
Good morning,
yeah.
Jason.
So Jason comes in with this fancy truck and trailer, and I'm kind of getting scoring set up Friday night, what we can do. And what's this cool little app you got on your phone?
So I've got an airbag on the back that I can adjust with the app on my phone to, for load leveling on the trailer. And what I'll do is I'll raise it up really high and drop the jack and then just unload it. So then I don't have to mess with the trailer jack. Hey, come here. Sorry, 3-year-old found me. So I also, while I did that, I put my train horns on the pickup. So he was right by the back of the truck. And you heard him, Andy, I think, when I left.
Yes, I do remember.
Was right.
I remember Chris telling me, and I remember knowing exactly what Chris was saying when you left that day.
He was right by them, and I gave it a good little honk, and I turned around, and half your gas can was on the ground, and he didn't know if he wanted to laugh or cry or clean out his pants, but it was a good time.
That's worth 5 gallons of gas.
No, it wasn't
so
much.
I told him, though, by driving a Prius, it makes up for it, so no harm.
There we go.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason.
I
think tonight's going to be a good one. So don't feel bad, Chris, because when he was leaving, I think I turned to wave or something. Anyway, I looked at you or the trailer, and the next thing I know, I was literally about falling off my quad.
And I waited till I was down the drive just so I didn't get anybody too bad. But yeah.
Man, what is that horn?
So it's a company called Horn Blasters. They make a kit that basically goes where your spare tire was. So it's all self-contained. And then you can wire it in on a switch, but I just wired it into the horn of my truck. And yeah. So the story with it, my brother-in-law, so my niece and nephews live a few miles from us. And a couple years ago, every time I drive to or from work, I'd just lay on the horn. And it ended up like burning the horn out of my pickup, like it wouldn't work. So I was like, and she loved it. She was 4 or 5 at the time. And so then I was like, just for fun, I put a train horn on it. So now no matter what time of day or night I go by there, I lay on it. And yeah, so just a fun uncle thing I do for them. I try to. The neighbors might not think it's so fun at 6 in the morning, but no complaints yet.
That's great.
Wake up call.
Will that go on anything? Can you?
Yeah, it'll basically go on any pickup. Yeah.
Oh, it has to be a pickup. Can't be a Prius.
Well, I guess I don't know how big the spare tire has to be. Sorry.
You know,
we're just
on a Prius.
The
spare tire is actually probably. I've never. Don't get me wrong. I've never been around a Prius, but Chris, in the spare tire inside?
I was gonna say,
no idea.
We could just put it in the back hatch.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'm telling you, if you drive it to the next race and leave it unlocked, there could be some fun had.
Oh my! I really looking forward to this.
I don't even know what to say. I'm being double teamed here.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Jason, thanks for coming to the race. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
We'll see you later.
Thanks for changing the subject.
Yeah.
No, I love it, man. Out of all the stuff we do, the hair scramble stuff, the Iowa Series hair scramble stuff has been by far my favorite thing that I look forward to. Because kind of like Danny was saying last time when he was on, like that. Yeah, I met him through our church, and he invited me out for it, and I was just blown away by it. It was just the coolest thing in the middle of nowhere that no one knew anything about,
Mm-hmm.
And I got to experience the other side of that this weekend. So my son, my oldest, he's 17, and one of his friends from youth group that live in Mount Pleasant, never been around anything like this, like more of your artistic musical type, if you will. But Clay invited him out and just talked about how crazy the starts were and how, hey, you should come watch. Well, he showed up right as the afternoon race was starting. And I don't think I've ever seen someone as excited for something completely out of their element. Like I mean, just amazing questions, like very into it. Tell me everything you can about it. I wish I could be around this. And then at the end, I said to him, I said, well, hey, I'll let you know the next time there's one somewhat close, and you're more than welcome to come with us and hang out. And he goes, no, I don't care where they are. I'll pay. I want to go. I want to go to these. And it was just so neat to see someone, I mean, no affiliation, no clue even about what kind of wheelers and stuff they are. Just think it was the coolest thing ever, you know? And so that was really neat to be there for that. But no, and then the kids turnout, man, that just, what a blessing. That was amazing.
115 kids.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Isn't it something? I know I seen you watching everything. Of course, you had the little one in the second session, right?
He raced with the 50s.
So we had someone share the start of the last row of the youth. And I was trying to tell him, like, that's just the last row, you know, and it's a good sized class, but it wasn't it amazing seeing how wide those 90s get, those rows.
Yeah, that's the best class. I mean, not only for just the size and stuff, but as a parent, if my kid's racing, there's not a lot of things more reliable than the Honda 90s. so that's just the best all around kids class to me. I mean,
yes,
when they're ready.
I 100% agree. But I just wish maybe we need to do that, Chris. Maybe we need to tie a bonus points race to where you must be at the kids start to get all the adults down there, and the adults did good this time. We only had a couple little ones, but isn't it amazing how wide those youth classes are, and they just buzz through it like it's absolutely nothing, you know? They just do a wonderful job. But yeah, I'm so happy and so jealous at the same time. It's like, God, I wish I could have done that, you know? But it's cool seeing the new people show up and just, you know, like your boy, you know, we converted him from bikes to four-wheelers. Maybe not 100% yet, but we're at least started. Oh, there he is. There he is.
So since we've got back from the race, what have you been riding all the time?
The four-wheel.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I think you may have converted him even a little more than I thought when he said it. So, yeah, he was jumping our driveway Sunday afternoon when I saw him, and so we had to kind of set some four-wheeler parameters here at the start. But yeah.
Well, you do know that maybe I shouldn't say this with him there, but you do know the next race isn't that far from you.
The next one, is it in Cahokia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep. So.
Yeah.
He's looking at me, his eyes are real big.
Didn't mean to get you in trouble, Jason.
No, we'll see. Definitely might have to try it.
So, Jason, we talked there. You know, we kind of learned a little bit about your dealership through Danny, you know, and how this all happened and stuff. But you've been with us for, I can't tell you the exact number of years. I had to rely on Danny to tell me how many races we've been down there, and it was 20. And talking to Jason, he thought maybe the first two was somebody else, maybe the first three, but he thought you came on like the third or maybe fourth year.
Yeah, and it gets a little tricky because originally when I first started coming around, Can-Am was a sponsor themselves.
Yep.
So I necessarily wasn't the sponsor, but I volunteered to take stuff out and machines and display, basically as an excuse to be around it. And then as soon as I was able to convince the previous owner at Midwest before I took over ownership, so I think there was a year or so where it was Midwest, but not me. And then it's been every year since then. That's something I've committed to. I enjoy it. It's the most, motocross, side by side, all kinds of stuff. That's to me the most family oriented, grassroots fun. Like, so Friday I show up to drop off some machines in the trailer and stuff there. And the whole time I'm pulling through, I see people playing cornhole. I see people grilling out. I see kids riding their bikes. And it's like, hey, this is what it's about. You know, these people, it's not just a race. It's this is our summer traveling vacation group almost, you know. And yeah, it's just neat. And you know, when you see everybody helping everybody, and it doesn't matter who flips over or who, you know, it's family, and that is super cool to me to see, because you know it can turn into a money contest and a pride and like a little league travel ball team real quick. But that, in my experience with the Iowa Series, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's always anything you care about passionately, there's going to be some tempers flare, but as a whole, I've been impressed with how great everyone involved is. Everyone's friendly. Everybody helps everybody. I mean, I've Saturday, some guy was running around saying, "Hey, anybody got a chain for a Yamaha 450?" And then somebody, "Yeah, I got one over here." And you know, you don't see that in other stuff like that, you know. So, I just want to, and for me, I know it sounds like something some people might expect me to say, but it ain't about sales. It's not about money. I mean, the return on that isn't really justifiable other than just supporting the sport, you know, just investing in a place and a reason for people to ride. And, you know, there's all kinds of different things about that, but, you know, even talking about legalizing side-by-sides or state riding parks or all that, you know, you have to give people a way to do what they love. And that's what this is. You know, without your landowners and sponsors, I wouldn't think there's any way for it to work. And the landowners, I think, is a huge thing, man. That for them to just open up their properties like that, and if it gets rutted and destroyed, you know, they're, even when it's muddy and it's a mess, everyone I've ever been to, the landowners are just tickled pink to have people there, you know, and that's great, because that's getting fewer and further between too, it seems.
Yeah, very well said. I tell everybody that they always talk about the race, you know, and I always feel sorry for the ones, I shouldn't say feel sorry, but, you know, I wish I could get more people that come in to the race day and then leave to spend the night on Friday night. If not Friday night, Saturday night, or both, because I tell everybody the race itself is like the smallest portion of the weekend, you know.
Yeah.
That Friday night when everybody's just chilling, having fun, and watching the kids. And, you know, I got to tell you something really quick. And that was at Trenton. The gentleman that loans us his tractor to pull people out. He brought him over with his daughter. We're leaving, and I seen him looking over towards this little pile of rock. And there's like 10 kids riding their bicycles over it. And there's kids sitting there on the side, like you mentioned, you know, just playing, whether it be Frisbee or all this kind of stuff. And I see him kind of shaking his head, and I thought something was wrong, and heard him say something to his daughter. And I thought he said, "Those kids have a chance." And I was like, I didn't know a way to take that, you know. And I asked him, I said, "You know, what do you mean by that?" He goes, "I'm just saying those kids have a chance. There's no phones. I don't see one phone. I don't see one tablet. They're getting dirt underneath their fingernails. You know, they're playing in the dirt. They're having fun. They're exercising and stuff." And he goes, "If we had more of that," he goes, "it'd be a much better situation than it is today."
Yeah. And I agree completely. And this is kind of maybe a rabbit trail off of that, but so, you know, electric is the big push now. All these manufacturers want electric stuff. Well, I learned through Stone, my 5-year-old, that there is so much more to riding than performance. And what I mean by that is he started off on one of the little basic electric bikes. And then KTM came out with this little E-tube. So it's like the size of a PW50, but it's electric. Awesome little bike. I got him one of those, and he flat could rip on it. Super fast on it. But all he wanted was a 2-stroke because of how big brothers, smelled and the oil and all that. And it hit me that there's so much more to it than just how the bike performs. Because he got a little 52 stroke, And he would ride the electric one faster, but all he wanted to be on was that gas one, so he could hear it and feel it and smell it. And I think about just things in our society as a whole, and just as guys, not anything against women, but I can relate to guys. I can't relate to a lot of women, but just the rush of having an outlet for racing or for cars or for dirt, whatever it is, and how it's so much more than just doing it. It's the experience of it, And so when I go to these dealer shows and all this stuff, and they're pushing all this electric stuff, I think some of it's got a place. So I'm not going to say all of it I'm against, but to me, you're raising and training the next generation of riders, and you just can't do that with a screen. You can't do that with electronics like the dirt under your nails, the oil drain pan spilling on the floor, experiences that you get from motorsports or whatever that looks like for you, but
Yeah. No. Very true. So Danny, I know, or not Danny. Sorry, I could have called you worse.
yeah,
But I know we got you for a short amount of time. So I want to clue in really quick. I cannot thank you enough for everything you do. And I say this every time, in front of people, but it's important that you know how everybody feels. And it's not just what you're doing for us, but it's what you're doing for the sport. And I think you just made that clear why you do things. And we can't thank you enough. Not only that, but I know you're involved you're one of these dealers, and I know you've heard me talk about this before, but I worked at a dealership for a long time. So I see it firsthand. And I can tell you more than almost any dealer I've ever met, you are that dealer. We have dealers that sit sit behind the parts counter, and wait for people to come to them and never get out of that store. They're just there to sell parts, sell this, and that's it. But I almost feel like that's almost robbing from our sport. And I don't mean to be mean to them,
right.
But man, you get the ones that come out and get involved. And there's a lot of dealers that get involved. Don't get me wrong. But you are out there almost every weekend. I'm guessing if the kids don't have a ball game, you're involved in something going on in either your community or whether it be a ATV or side by side or motorcycle or or something. But it's amazing every time we get to work with you. It always, it's like a magnet. I just kind of watch and see how people gravitate towards you, and it's pretty cool. And I see the same thing when you're selling stuff, on your Facebook stuff. And it's like the guy just came clear from Indiana, and the guy came from, clear down south here. And it's like every time I see that, I know why they're coming there, but I just always wonder, they're coming from that Indiana. I seen one here a while back, came from Indiana. How many dealerships do you think he's crossing or going by to get to Midwest Performance?
Yeah. That's a huge blessing. That's none other than the Lord's blessing over the years. And I think what it comes down to, I'm not better than anyone else could be as far as pricing or any of that kind of stuff. But my true mindset is I was an enthusiast way before I was a dealer. I rode, it was a dream. And I'm not a dealer that rides. I was a rider that was blessed to be able to get into this after a while. And I think people value that. A lot of dealers now just want to sell you a machine and then worry about your accessories and how you want it and all that stuff later. And one of the first things I do when I'm talking to people about machines is tell them everything I don't like about it. Hey, I'm going to give you the good and the bad. Here are my complaints. Here's what we can do about it. Or here's what I love and here's why. But, I think there's a lot of people now that, well, I know so, that want machines how they want it. They don't want to have to mess with ordering this and will this work and will that not. And when I price somebody something, I give them an alpha door price with everything they want installed, ready to roll. No surprises, no added fees, none of this sit down with the finance guy for, that whole car dealer rigmarole. And it's just been word of mouth. And that to me is the most encouraging thing. Because like tomorrow morning, I'm going to leave about 5 a.m. to drive a long ways with the gooseneck to pick up some dealer trades and then come back. And I got 2 more to deliver throughout the day, and I can get very discouraged and overwhelmed, But then when the guys call me and they're like, "Hey, my buddy from Ohio bought one from you last year and told me to get a hold," that it's like re-energizing, And so that's the old former athlete competitor in me, It's like you get a good hit or you finish good in a race, you're like motivated, And so, yeah. And as far as the races and stuff go, my selfish intent is I love to see kids, especially kids as a dad, but people happy, people having fun, people loving what they're doing and high-fiving and people in the pits cheering and all that. And so I've been there 15 years now, and I've seen, a decline in not only younger people wanting to do that kind of stuff, but having the opportunity to do it. So if I can help create that opportunity in any way or support it in any way, it's what I always wanted to do as a kid and never could. So now that I have the opportunity to, I want to help. I want to help promote it and push it. And we've sold some stuff to it over the years, but that's not why I do it. I sponsor several sprint cars, dirt track, Burlington, Donaldson, several places. I don't think we've ever sold a 4-wheeler to somebody who's went to a circle track on a Friday night, but it's local. It's there's a lot of people in that realm that know us, and it's just supporting a local event. Support your local stuff. And, you said it Saturday, Andy, before the race. And if somebody has a great dealer, awesome. I never want to step on those toes. If you got a good relationship, I don't even want to be involved. Support your local dealer. If not, I'm here. So yeah, it's none other than the Lord's blessings, because I remember dreaming of this and it never being a reality, and now it's still a whole lot of work, but I'm able to help support and be involved with guys like you that have poured your heart into this kind of thing for everybody. So I'm very grateful.
Well, we're very grateful to have you and your whole family that show up and to these things. It's just neat. I could go on and on about, not knocking the other dealers, but just, how appreciative we are of you, and not just us, but like we said, we look on Facebook, seems like every day or every other day, and we see something, somebody coming from a long ways, and that doesn't just happen overnight. So you're right. The word of mouth, I think, is always the best advertising, period. And you can't argue it. If you do bad, you get a bad review. If you do good, they talk about you all the time, so it's just really, really cool. And we can't thank you enough. You talk about the opportunities and stuff, that you've had, but just look at you. I know you well enough. I know this has to get you. Is every time I see, and I want to say here a while back, I seen somebody buy 2 50s, little CRF 50s off you, that's got to just put a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing. My absolute favorite time of year is right before Christmas, between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We make no money because there's no margin on any little kids' wheelers, but it's the greatest thing ever too. And so a lot of years for Christmas, we'll do things where we kind of stage it. Kids come in and I'll have some fun with them to surprise them with it. There's been years me and my son have wore a Santa costume and delivered them on Christmas Eve and stuff like that stuff before. Because it's the one thing I always wanted as a kid, never got, So now it's like the kid stuff pumps me up, So yeah, I enjoy it. And you know what? We have 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls, and the whole cell phone, computer screen, video game thing, I don't care how intentional you are, is a battle. So I'm a firm believer in handlebars over video games every chance you can. Get them outside. And yeah, so that the kid stuff, it's like pure joy, just to see a kid with something like that. But yeah. 2
quick questions. I know you got to go. It's very simple, yes or no's or anything. What of all the machines, we've seen you on some crazy machines. We talk about every time the covers of magazines and stuff that you've built, but in just your history of just writing and selling and building and everything, Tell me your number one favorite machine you've ever thrown a leg on.
2011 Outlander XXC. So I don't know if you know this or not, but I have one. So this whole Pinland thing, those are the guys that got me into this industry. Like that was my life goal. And so I have a few bone stock, brand new condition, 2011 XXCs that I've collected over the years. And I also have Rick Checo's old championship Gen 1 that I'm restoring back to exactly how it was when they raced it back in 2010, which was the hardest thing I've done yet, because 90% of the stuff on it was prototype. It was a prototype frame and all kinds of stuff. And after it went through the Iowa series, after Rick raced it, it went through several people in the Iowa series. We ended up in Michigan, and I found it. But yeah, so my hope is to actually have that done before the Pinland, because it will be a showroom new race quad from 2009, 2010 era. So yeah, that era, those guys were like my superheroes. Like that was the ultimate. Those Gen 1 Can-Am utility racing. So,
well, that is awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny how so many things in our sport, it grew during that period. I mean, it like put the sport on steroids. You know what I mean? And so real quick, before asking my last question,
one more thing.
I got to give this a personal invitation to you.
okay.
I know it's a little ways away. I know it's on a Saturday, which probably makes it almost impossible. But August 1st at the Pinland, I just got off the phone with Rick Checo yesterday about the Pinland.
Okay.
I think we're going to have a lot of stuff to release here really quick, but there's going to be so many people from that era. I think either there, they might even be, someone might even throw a leg over a machine, you know, you might even see some machines from that era or before, you know, but I want to give you your personal invitation. We'd love to have you as a special guest.
I am planning on it by any almost means possible to be there for that. Cause that's cool. And I want to be there for that. So yeah, that's
awesome.
The goal, man. I'm planning on it. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing, I know you've told me what your favorite machine was, and this is the last thing, Chris. And you've talked about your favorite machines. You've talked about opportunities, stuff like this. So I got to ask you, with those two together, have you ever even thought or had the opportunity to drive a Prius with flames on it?
I would with train horns in it. I think we could get down with that. No, I can't. I still stand up to pee, so I don't think I could let myself do that.
I was just thinking though, if we had you and Chris's flamed out Prius, and then we have Danny Graber and his little tykes,
and we do the parade lap in them,
I think you could. I really do. As long as it's dry, I think it would be a hoot. We could make a pretty good little short story about this. You know, maybe that's our children's book.
Hey, you got me inspired to put a Prius body on something really cool right now and go ripping through the woods.
Well, Chris, I got news for you. When Jason gets something in his head, we usually see it come true. So
all right,
if he does that, I want pictures of you in that Prius too.
Where do you ever have a picture?
Chris, will you promise right now if he doesn't
no.
do it?
No.
Come on.
You see what I deal with, Jason?
Hard to find good help.
Jason, I know you got to get going. I don't want to hold you up. Thank you very much for all the continued support. We look forward to seeing you if you can be at the Pinland. It's just amazing. And thanks for taking the time, I know, on a busy night to come in and see us.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me, guys. It's always a pleasure.
And thanks for the train horn story, too. That was good.
Yeah.
Right.
All
see you guys.
right.
Thank you.
We'll see you. Oh, man. I'm going to one day, if I'm with you on Saturday, I'm taking a picture of you on your little Ford Escort that you have, or Focus, and we'll see who's got the small car.
I'm proud of that. I don't hide behind something, Chris. I
Your
put it out
monster
there.
truck, as I refer it.
I drove it. I drive it everywhere. I got almost 200,000 miles on that. And I'm not even a Ford fan, and I love that car.
Oh, well, if I had a Prius, I wouldn't be ashamed, but I don't.
I don't have flames on mine. Hey, now come on.
Go,
Put everything aside. If Jason did come up and build something like that, you would take it for a spin.
Sure. Why not?
I wonder if he could get that done by Canesville.
Oh, my.
I'll tell you a little inside information. There's a really good chance that Dirt Wheels is going to be at the Pinland.
I'm sure there's lots of things you're going to start leaking.
Yeah. Man, I can just see it right now in Dirt Wheels, so that would look good.
Yeah. So,
boy, that's got me thinking now. If I can find a free day, I got to call and offer my help to Jason.
Yeah. Let me know if you have any free time.
Okay.
So, yeah. Good race. I mean, when have we been at Mount Pleasant and had the weather that we had?
Yeah. You know, and you always, and I get it. I'm not being mean to anybody, but it's always funny. You and I talk about it all the time. The comments you see about it's going to be a mutter, you know, but people don't realize when you say it's going to be a mutter, the fair weather racers like, oh, I don't know if I can make it. All of a sudden I had a clutch break and I can't get the part, you know, because we don't want to get in the mud and stuff. And it's like, we hear that all weekend. And Danny kept telling us, hey, it's going to part skies. It's going to part skies. We start questioning Danny because we got pretty good amount of rain last week. But, you know, I think he said they only had like 5/10 of rain in like the last 3-4 months. So it was bone dry enough. It just soaked right in. And, you know, and that what we prepared for, which I'm still glad we did, because give you credit, you know, the crew guys that switched the trails over, you know, and stuff. It was amazing. We could have started right at 12 if we wanted to but to be that close to on time, moving everything up, still getting the awards done, man, I was so proud of the team. I mean, it wasn't even funny, you know, so yeah, not only the team, but everybody did a really good job of getting up to the line and being ready to go, you know. That was really appreciated.
I know it was a busy day, lots of moving parts. Yeah. I think we would have been ready by noon. It was cutting us a little short, but I think we were waiting on you because scoring was ready the whole day.
I won't deny that. When I got down there and I forget, I think I just started talking or something, and yeah, I heard that come across. I had to shut my radio off because there's so much talk, and I know one of them was you saying scoring was ready, which I was like, wow. Yeah, that's good. And you know, when first thing I hear anymore when you say that, the first person I want, or the first people I want to thank for that, is the people that got in there and got signed up early. You know, we didn't have the, you know, the lollygagger or someone being held up or something to hold it up, and it was really nice. So when I hear you say that early, I'm like, yeah, it does work. If everybody plays their part, we can have this thing, you know, it's like a fine oiled machine right now. It's going really well. Everybody's kind of does their part, and you know what I mean? And we're ready to go. So
we just had one hiccup in the morning, which we were kind of rushing, and we had, I think, one person, you know, after the hour cutoff for pay the penalty. But I mean, we have to start, you know, assessing that to stay on time. So yeah, it was good.
And just since you brought that up, I didn't even know that happened Saturday, but since you brought it up, I'll give credit. And I think this is maybe the second time this has happened, at least maybe 3 times this year. But if you remember right, Gary Eads called me or texted me and said, hey, we're going to be running late, such and such. Can you get stuff ready? You know, so we know they're ready. We can put them in the system, and then they have to just stop and sign, you know, and that's all we ask, you know, on that stuff is just give us give me a text message, you know, so we can get that all done. And it's it's amazing when everything goes as planned and people prepare for it. It's like it can really work really well. So I can't even blame scoring this time. You definitely were ready to go. So I was impressed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get started pretty much on time the whole day. We have great starts. We had a couple get offs. I don't think anything major, but had really good starts. Just a really good race. Like you said, the weather was absolutely perfect for a race. There wasn't near as many people in the pond this year, as far as adults after the race, and it did get hot. We've seen a couple of them still a little dehydrated afterwards and stuff. But for the most part, it was just 10 times better weather, track period than we didn't have the dust. We had good moisture. Some of them, there was a couple spots where there's a little moisture in what we probably wanted, but it was all manageable. And man, I thought it was just a great day. Just everything top to bottom. We've seen a lot of new people. I don't think you probably got to see it, but I went down at one point during the race and I just did a quick video going down the driveway. And obviously we don't have a ton of parking like we used to down there right now, but and I think we even talked about this at some point there Saturday, maybe. I can't remember if it was a writer's meeting or what, but down there, we used to have the big field. So there was all kinds of parking, but it didn't look like there's that. I mean, there was a lot of people, but you were so spread out. It almost got us to where this group's over here and this group's over here. You know what I mean? But when we're down there like that, I think that's almost my favorite parking of the year because everybody is close. You see people. I don't know how many times you see people, hey, you want a sandwich? You want something to drink? It's just cool. And I don't know. I just like how do you say that, camaraderie. But it's just cool seeing everybody like that and the kids playing. I mean, I got pictures of the playground and the pond. It's just every year we say this, but it seems like it gets better and better at Mount Pleasant every year. It's just such a cool facility, and it provides such a cool track. It's got pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great day on our part. I thought the scoring went really well. Like I said, we only had to pull one out the whole day, the whole weekend. So it was really good.
What do you mean by pull out? Because didn't you have tow several back, but one had to wait until after the race? Is that what you mean by?
Sorry, I was talking vehicles getting pulled out. But yeah, there was quite a few. I remember one time I had somebody hooked up to the back. And Brad was doing something really cool. We had a hill that was really bad. I should say really bad, but a lot of people got stuck or had issues with their machines on the hill. Mm-hmm. So Brad had put the call out. He needed help. So he's pulling people up the hill and parking them at the top so we could just go grab them at the top, you know what I mean? And not get that hill so congested with riders coming in. I know at one point I was coming back, pushing one and pulling another at the same time. And we got it taken care of really quick, and everybody back to their trailers. And it's just neat seeing some of that stuff, how the guys can manage, a situation. You hear, I need help. And then like 5 minutes later, when you're freed up, where you at? I already got it. It's already taken care of. So it's really cool to see that kind of stuff and how they work through it, but I've seen a lot of Nerf bars broke, must've been some. Well, I kept hearing about somebody's telling me about a tree that broke theirs on the right, but I thought I seen 2 or 3 on the left that was broke. So obviously they were sliding into something somewhere. So
it's all right ones dangling. Yeah.
Right ones. Yep. So yep. But all in all, man, it was.
So what was the issue with the 50s? That the fat first lap took some of those 50s like 20 minutes.
Yeah, so the 50s just don't have the clearance, And
Yep.
we had some places when you'd mentioned to me that, hey, we're 17 minutes into a half, and I've only
was
seen half the
missing half.
field.
Yeah.
So when one gets stuck and then they get caught up to each other on
Mhm.
those 50s where we do have some ruts, they can't move then because they stop. If they were just moving, they would have been fine. But when they're stopped on that, then all of a sudden they can't go. They don't have that forward motion to get them off. And we had some of them stuck that way. I know Brent and I forget who it was helping him. But they were rerouting a spot where a very little small crossing, but it just got wet enough, from everybody spinning and stuff that they had to reroute that. I'm not sure how many was stuck in there. I came across a couple areas when I went around that lap that there had been an issue. I've seen a couple that we had to help that was high centered, and then I came across the one where I guess that was in the 90s though, where they'd gotten somebody got turned around, slid sideways, and then it was just a parking lot from there on. But I think the 50s mainly had to deal with a clearance issue.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
But, and some of those kids where we really try to help them when they're out there and you see them slow down because there's a rut. And then it's nice when you say, okay, but when you see this, you got to give it gas, and then the next time you come up to it, they listen and they go right through it, and it's like, that's awesome, seeing them learn that quick and adapt and everything. So, yeah. But yeah, I think it was a really good track. If it was bone dry, I don't think there ever would have been a problem with them, because we've done that track wasn't really different than what it used to be. At the end of the day, I think it was because we had rerouted, the guys had rerouted a couple places, but yeah, and even down in the water area of the rocks, that just created a slicky spot where there's a lot of parents, can't thank them enough. There's a lot of parents down there helping push and making sure things are keep going. So yeah, it was really nice. So, but yeah, 50s, I thought had a great race. What was there? 30, how many was in that one? 31, 37,
32.
32.
That looks like.
It was a really nice 50s classes. But yeah.
Yeah. So what? How about the
in
adult?
The start of the.
I
was amazed. I think I might be wrong, Chris, but I think we had one get off in all of the 14 starts for the adults. I'm pretty sure there's only one, and that was pretty impressive.
And that must have been early on
we didn't give the front rows very much room at all.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Was that like B class or was a get off? Because one of them was quite a while there. Like a minute and so in between. I can look.
Probably.
It was somewhere around in there. One of those first 5 rows.
And I can't remember. I know who it was too that got off. I was talking to him, I think, if I remember right. But
anyways, so you started the front rows pretty much short distance to the whole shot?
To the first bail. The whole shot was the second. But yeah, just a really short one. We're just a starting area down there. It's so fun though. I think I've heard a lot of people like it, so it's hard to get away from it. But it was definitely tight this year just to get to that first. But after you get through the first 3 rows, I think it was just fine. We didn't have any issues because of being too close. And that's the thing about that front row. Some may not like the close, some may like it. But here's the thing: they've been around long enough. They're considered our the fastest, the best of the best. They should be able to deal with it, and I thought they dealt with it really well. So I thought it was a good day.
Gotcha.
So I think it's one of the first years at Mount Pleasant we haven't had to hand out popsicles.
But good.
I think if we had popsicles, I think I would have gave a whole box to Travis Troy afterwards. I think he would have enjoyed that day. But
yeah, man, I like the ice cream. Oh, can't thank the Gravers enough for that. Not once did we get treated with ice cream. We got twice.
So I didn't get any of the first one. I did the second one, but man, that was good. that really hit the spot. So, but yeah, once again, for the landowners just to do that, and like you said, not once, but twice, once Friday, once Saturday, that's pretty special. It was really good. So, but yeah. Did you have any excitement at the day during scoring? I was up there. I think I truly only witnessed 2 times people going quick, just when I was there.
I was in the trailer a lot. Just there was a 2 hiccups, something simple. I think it was one bad transponder that we had, and then somebody that didn't get registered completely. So that was the 2 hiccups. I was in there, but mostly just verifying things. And I was looking over the kids' stuff. We had a kid issue with the 50 class that somebody did an extra lap after the checkered. So that was caught and brought to our attention. And I was fixing that at the beginning of the adults, but I thought it was smooth.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Uh,
You said doing an extra lap. I remember you handed me that.
It's your fault.
I felt horrible because I know when you handed me the checkered, I did not hear you say, like, I didn't even know. I guess I didn't know the race was over. I thought you were just handing it to me to get ready, and like you would tell me when it was. And then those 2 came through, or 3, and someone yelled at me like, the flag. I was like, what? And then I ended up giving it to somebody, and I got on my quad and took off and chased him down. It was interesting because the one that I remember, the first one, obviously there must have been another one, but we got the one stopped at the end of the concrete there by the barn, and the other one just took off and was going pretty darn quick, and I had to chase them down, and they were already on the trail and everything when I caught them, and I was yelling, and finally they stopped and listened to me. And I noticed when they turned around, it was, I'm gonna feel bad. It's like, is it Collison? What's his name? First, it's Kellison.
Collison.
What's his
Collison.
Collison. Okay.
He won the 50 limited class.
Yeah. And I know he's struggled with nerves a couple times this year, and so it was, and that's valid, I mean, obviously we know getting started, we had a couple Saturday. It's no big deal. It happens, and I always say, if you're not nervous, you're not ready, but it was neat because where he's sometimes not sure about if he wanted to go, and this time he wanted to go more, and for him to get back and then see that he won it a little bit later, I thought was pretty cool. So just one of those that we've really seen, come around, he's taking after his dad and his grandpa and his sister, and everything. So, or not sister, but aunt, I guess. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool though. And I got there and seen who it was. So yeah, I got to take the credit on that. I suppose I kind of messed that flag transition over. So, and I think part of it is, I don't come to scoring all the time, but when I do, I guess I'm not prepared for all the help for the different stuff that I have to do, And I think that's the first time you've ever handed me the flag. So I'll be prepared. I'll do better next time.
You were asking me for something. So, I had to give you the flag so I can go look at it. Whatever you're asking.
Yeah. But no, I thought, like I said, I thought the whole day went well. I thought you got the results out when you could. We had a couple issues that we had to take care of there, but we got them taken care of. And I thought everything was, I thought it was just a really good day. So food was good. Yeah, everything. So I know I enjoyed it, but I had to come home to get some sleep, man. I stayed up too late every night, it seemed like, down there. It caught up with me. So yeah. So, we might have to wait till next week because it was really cool, some of the stories we've seen there. But I did not get a chance to look at the results enough. And I'd love to go over them so we could talk a little bit more on that. But I got to tell you, the one thing I did notice, well, I already told you with the Kellison boy, that was pretty cool. Such a turnaround, but I did see there was like 20 some in that 50 limited class. That was 22. Nice. Remember when we talked about just starting that class? Like, you think this will work? you know? But
I mean, I was shocked, even like junior class 19.
Unbelievable.
I couldn't tell you when, if ever, we've had that big of a junior class.
I don't think ever. I was going across with that one, and I'm like pointing to him,
Yeah.
Holy cow, it goes clear down there. I thought it was the next row behind them. That was real impressive. First years had a lot of guys in there. That was
18.
that's really cool. But yeah,
the numbers are up. I mean, it's crazy. We had some first-time winners. We've had some multiple winners now. Jackson Carroll has won multiple times. Yeah, there's
a couple of the kids.
Sonny Verts joined the schoolboy.
Yep.
And
no,
excuse me, he wasn't schoolboy. He joined the Super Mini.
Super Mini, yep. Took home 2 that day, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then oh boy, I can go blank on this. The little one on the 90 that took his third win of the year.
Jackson Fair. Fair. You're talking about Jackson?
Ferrix, yeah.
Ferrix.
Yep. That was pretty cool. Was that Gasink's second win too, maybe?
Oh, he's corrected me.
I can't remember. Yeah, we had in the youth, we had a couple, 2-time winners there. So a couple first time, like you say. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, Jackson's 3-time.
Jackson. Which Jackson?
Ferrix. He's
one. Both Jackson. Him and Carroll both have 3 wins, don't they?
I want to say so. Yeah.
Sounds like Jackson's the name you want to have this year.
So, yeah. We can go over more, and I didn't have a chance to get whole shots too, so we need to get a snapshot of what that looks like for the first 3 rounds. So kind of the adults can kind of see where they may line up for the Penland.
Yeah, I would definitely like to maybe next week our homework can look and see who's qualified for the whole shot challenge, $3,000, purse on that, the whole shot challenge.
Yep. We'll get that done. And then also points after our discussion tonight. I'll hopefully get those posted here in the next day or 2.
Yep. And like you say, this is the next race will be the last points race before the Penland. And that's how you'll line up. I know we've repeated this several times, but there's a couple things I got to say about that race. One, again, is your points. So if you can move up, if you're in 6th, then you move up 1 place in points. That means you move up 1 row, with only 5 on a row. 1 through 5 is first rows, 6 through 10, second row, and so on. So, still a chance to move up. Not only that, you may not think you're up, but the guy in first might have an issue. There's no throwaways, this early. So it's based off of true points. So see where you're at. But the thing I must have said it 100 times this weekend, Chris, I'm going to say it again, just to remind everybody. And we have a lot of stuff. I'm working on a flyer right now to get to Sabrina. Should have already had it to her. It's my fault it's not, but a guy had another question today came in about pre-registration. I can't ask everybody to spread that word enough, and we'll get a bunch of stuff out here really quick. But remember, it's coming up quick. July 1st is the first cutoff. And the reason that's the first cutoff is so that they can get, we need the sizes, because if you've signed up by then, you're going to get that free race shirt, or not a race shirt. It's going to be a pretty cool shirt though, to recognize who was at the Pinland. So, and only, it won't be available for sale. Only the people, that got that pre-registration will get that shirt. So get it by July 1st. That way we got your sizes. We can get the shirts ordered. And then the last cutoff, the final cutoff is that, I believe, Saturday, right before the race?
Saturday, July 25th, 5 p.m.
5 p.m. So, and again, the reason we have to do that is because of the lineup, right? Because we're starting downtown. So we got to be able to let people know where they're at, get them in place so so you can get it programmed in for the start. I know Trace and I was working late last night on the lineups themselves, like being able to put it in, so when people get there, they're going to get a couple sheets, so one, we know if they got a t-shirt coming to them, and two, so they know right where they're lining up in the lineup, what row. If it's row 27 and starting spot number 4, they will know that ahead of time. So, but yeah, a lot to go in there. Talking to Adam Ratliff this just today, actually. Some stuff he's still working on. He's always working on something down there for us. Can't think of enough. I'm not sure this race would have came together without Adam. That's how much help he's been. He can't give him enough credit. So, but yeah, a lot of stuff going on as of right now, Chris. I'm going down. I got to get a hold of guys. I will be down there on Saturday. I'm going to go down Saturday morning to start working on some stuff. I got some stuff I got to look at downtown in the starting area, and then the starting area for the kids at the track and everything. So we got a lot to do down there. And we've had some people ask about helping and stuff. We can use all the help we can get down there. But this weekend will be just kind of a learning thing for us. And then my plan is to be down there tentatively both Saturday and Sunday next week. So we got a lot of work to do next week for sure. So we'll put the call out, and if anybody would like to come down and help, got trimmers or a chainsaw or something, we could definitely use the help. There's a lot going on down there. So,
Okay.
but don't worry. I don't think you have to be there till Friday night. So, but
You're so mean.
so we got 8:05. I don't feel like we've done a really good job of covering this last race.
I still think you got your penalty box to talk about here shortly.
Yep. So we'll get that, but we definitely have more to talk about next week about Mount Pleasant. We got to thank Jason every time we can, but also, we're going to start getting ready. I feel like sometimes, there's so much going on for the Pinland, you almost skip over a race, and it's important. We got another huge race coming up, another bonus points race, down in Cahokia, and there's I don't know if you know it, but that's also during their county fair, Chris. And they're giving them a little plug here. They have ATV races on Thursday at the county fair, which is only like, was it maybe 4 or 5 miles from the track, just right there in Cahokia. And so we're hoping to get down there, get a bunch of work done. I know the guys down there have been helping us tremendously on some of that stuff, Trump and all the guys down there. But if we can get everything to where we need to be, we plan on going in the county fair on Thursday and watching some. I know a lot of the youth racers. I know there's quite a few adult racers that are going to be racing. So, but yeah, looking forward to going in and kind of seeing how they do things down there. So it'll be fun. So, and Bold Off Road, I got to give him a call. Make sure, hopefully he can be there this year, because we'd love to have him there. And it's just been always a busy time for him and stuff. But Bold Off Road will be our title sponsor for that race. I think this is the 3rd year in a row. So we can't thank them enough. So we're going to start getting the page turned over to Cahokia here real quick. I'm guessing we'll have probably half the next weekend or next week's going over some of this results from Mount Pleasant and everything. There's a lot to go over there, but and then flip the page over a little bit of stuff on Pinland. Might have a special one. I know, Chris, you were
Yeah,
asking about
coming
maybe
up.
doing an extra podcast that you enjoy so much, and so we'll see. All that free time you have, we might schedule a special one in just for the Pinland, So
Hey, knock on wood, I'm gonna have some more free time next week.
So I promise I gotta get down and get it done, but we got so much info to come out for the Pinland. But the biggest thing is that pre-registration. We gotta make sure that pre-registration's known. So
Yeah.
but I'll get all the info, the times, because they are adjusted times for that one. So all that info, working on that flyer. We'll be hanging some up down there. We'll also be sharing it. We beg everybody to share it. But just everything is so different at that race that we'll try to explain everything.
Yep.
And look forward.
That's going to be. We kind of had a semi time adjustment for this race, but for the Penland, all class sessions will move up. So even our youth race will move up. Where do we determine half hour? So we'll start at 8:00.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So I haven't even went over with you, but I did make some adjustments on the schedule just last night. Talking with Adam Ratliff and stuff, he pointed out, which I appreciate. You're going to have to be downtown early anyway. We know that, but I made an adjustment to have the writers meeting before we take off for the parade, so everybody's not in their gear so as long and stuff. And it might even be having other people, other people take the machines down, if the riders are hot or something, but we always know that August 1st, we got a chance of it being pretty warm. So
yes, we do.
Yeah, I'll get that updated schedule to you and everybody else, and we got a lot of stuff to get out, so it'll be a lot of fun. So, So your favorite part? I know you've bugged me forever about doing a penalty box, but I don't like doing this, Chris. But for you, we'll go ahead and talk about it.
Well, do we want to talk about the first one, the plus 50? How there was a throwout lap?
Yeah, that's fine.
So we had a situation in the plus 50 class, which is kind of coincidental because last year, same class, there was an issue where there was a couple laps removed from a couple racers, and it kind of altered the standings. And that has happened again this year in the plus 50 class, that one of the racers got off course and went from 4th or 5th to 1st, and the lap was very short, so we ended up removing that lap. So,
and again, we talked with the rules committee, or I don't know if I call it rules committee, how you want to call that, but
HV committee.
Yeah, we talked with them about this too, and so I wouldn't be surprised if someone came up with that same question that I actually came up with that day: is why did we do it on this? Have the committee look at this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's only obvious when there's such a short time. There's only one answer, So those are the ones that we will just do automatically every time. That's not even a question, But where there's a question, a protest of some kind, that is where it always goes to the committee. So,
yep.
But yeah, so that was an obvious thing there. We made that change. I think not all parties may agree all the time on that, but I think everybody understood, So Same as last year when 4 of them, the same class, like you said, was affected. So So go ahead and tell us about the next one then too.
I don't know the whole situation. I just know there was a situation. You probably have more of the details on what had happened. I just know the outcome and was seeking the outcome so I can get done what I had to get done on the backside. So, what do you know, or what can you share?
So we had a protest come in that was not physically passed by somebody, and then by breaking it down and trying to figure out the information, we handed it over to the committee. The committee took a look at it, and I give the committee all the props in the world because, as you've seen, they spent time with both individuals, the one protesting and the one that was being protested, to find out exactly what happened. And we always ask that same question. We went over it again Saturday, Chris. I think you were there. We only ask 2 questions. We give them the information that we have. They get to talk to the individuals involved. This time, I think it was the second time in a row, they've actually went down to where it happened, to look at it, maybe step it off, but just understand the situation. And that's the one thing as we evolve. There'll always be that person that, well, I got this and he got this, but this is coming from your peers, and they're trying to do their best to make sure under the guidelines that we have, that the fairest decision is made. And I think this time they really tried to do the right thing, and our opinions mean nothing. They are the jury and the judge, and, but when it all got said and done, they thought under this circumstance, the way it all went down, that they decided that there would be a penalty. We always ask, should there be a penalty? Yes or no? So when they say yes, then the next question is what should that penalty be? And that's why I know they spent a lot of time. I know you're trying to hurry it to get the start, get everything printed off, but they came up with, in this circumstance, under the circumstances that was evolved here, is they chose to do a 2-lap penalty, or not 2-lap, sorry, 2-position penalty. So there was a first and second. The kid that was in first got passed by the second one. And I guess to put it in the quickest way is outside that 20 feet, 5 feet where he got passed. And they chose to go back in there and make the 2-position. So the one that was in first went to second. And then after that pass, the one that actually ended up winning got a 2-position penalty and fell back to third. So no matter what, I tell everybody, if you are, I will be the first one to admit, and this is going to come out bad, but darn well, I cannot stand cheaters. It chaps me with all the work that so many people do. You know what I mean? That someone would have to cheat to win. Now, am I saying that's what happened this time? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is that in our sport, and I say this every time, okay, and if we get a guy, and we've had him there before, I got one name that sticks into my head that always chaps me every time I talk about this because I know how bad he cheated and it drives me nuts, but when you see somebody cheat, and this time I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but no one's coming out and saying, hey, this guy cheated type thing. But if you are in our sport, okay, in cross country, it's not the same as motocross. When all eyes are on you, you know what happened right there. You still get guys. How many times you watch Supercross and see somebody get penalized for cutting the course? It happens on a closed course like that. But in our sport, that's gonna happen to you. I know some kids it's never happened to, some adults it's never happened to, but my guess is if you race in our sport long enough, you'll either be affected by that or it will happen to you directly, because just the way our courses go, and you might have bottlenecks, you might have other circumstances. It's not so bad now that we don't have side-by-sides, because it used to be you get off on a side-by-side course, so I'm just making excuses really is what I'm doing, but there's a lot of situations that this can happen, but if it does happen, you and I have talked about this so many times, if I'm in 10th place and all of a sudden I come out in second, the last thing I want to do is go through scoring, because then it's solidified, right?
Yeah.
If you passed all those guys, the smartest thing to do is park. Let them guys come. If it happened wrong, let them guys get back in front of you, make the correction on the track. You know what I mean? So that we can keep going, and you don't have to deal with this afterwards. The very minimum is to stop and say, hey, Chris, I got off course. I'm not sure how I did it, but that goes a long way, and honesty is coming and saying, hey, this is what happened, and then the other side of that is just a protest, and I don't blame anybody for wanting to protest a situation like that. Everybody works too hard to get where they're at. You don't want to give anything up, so you get bit by it sometimes. Sometimes you might come out on top, but it's going to happen in our sport. So I don't care where you go, GNCC or any other local or national series, it's going to happen in cross country. So, but I think a lot of it, I've said that Saturday too, is just how you grow from it, and not only if that was you that it happened to, but if you're the one that did it or it happened to you, I mean, every situation, there's a way to be positive about it and to grow from it and get faster. So hopefully that's what happens there. But I think that's the only two penalties that we had on Saturday. So that's a good day. It's a good day. Not a lot of drama around either one. So
yeah.
So I think it's a good day. A lot of stuff going on though.
I know. Now we get to look forward to Cahokia and the trailer tunnel.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Cahokia's became a lot of fun. So that's another one that, boy, you look at that, Chris. First time I went there, I thought, oh man, we got plenty of parking here. And now every year it's like, we got to get them in here somewhere. I
know. Maybe you can throw this out there because, man, I saw some families bring their softballs and their mitts and makeshift softball bat somebody was swinging. Man, are we allowed to use the field across the road at all?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think we're tentatively scheduled to start over there this year.
Okay.
You talking about playing some ball or something?
Hey, if there's not many families there, why don't we get a series kickball game going? Adults versus kids or something. I think that'd be kind of cool to do Friday night.
Would you be there by then?
Maybe.
I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be fun. I really do. And so I'm not sure how we're going to be set up down there this year yet. Obviously, we haven't been there, but I want to say we're starting across the road, and that's hard. We can't do that the way we went last year. It just don't work. So I want to say we're probably starting across the road, but don't forget we have a really nice. Well, it's where we started last year. Actually, it's where we started last year. If we don't start back there this year, that's another great place to set up camp at, That's a good, perfectly flat. I know Paul Sirk, I remember hearing him this weekend saying something about the whole crew, volunteering to go back there, because you're right on pit lane, but you've just got kind of your own little, camping area, and you can still walk right through the middle of it. It doesn't take but a second to get there, but it's right where we started last year. So it'll be interesting. We got to really look at that place and talk to Thad and the whole group down there. I know they've done a lot of work. But it'll be interesting. So we'll make it work however, but I'm sure we can come up with the field for you.
I mean, let's do it. I think a little fun.
Sounds good. So.
All right. Well,
I think you've stretched it out about as long as you can tonight.
Probably.
What number are we tonight?
62 episodes.
62. Nice.
Yeah. It's about how many inches tall you are, isn't it?
Oh.
I'm close.
What stinks is you actually are close. Dang.
There's one other thing, one more thing. I got to keep bringing this up until you actually go through with this.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
And you asked my wife. I completely. We were hot to trot on this. We've had some stuff going on at home that took us away, and now we're fixed today, so we should be a lot better. But
I know
I completely let that slip. I had it on my phone. I called home on Wednesday night or Thursday and said, "Hey, is there any way we can still make this happen?" And she was looking at it, and there was no way we could. So
Okay, so
that is, typically I'd blame it on my wife, but I will actually say that was my fault that didn't happen this race. But I think that will probably happen the next race, which
All
will be
right.
perfect. So it's probably going to be super hot.
Yeah.
That'll be just perfect. So
Yeah, I think you gotta, wear a costume during the start of the race.
no, not during the start. I'm not even caving on that one. That might be a Friday night situation.
All right, Friday night kickball, Andy in costume.
I didn't say anything about kickball either.
I mean,
We'll see. We'll have fun with it. So
yeah,
I got news. I was getting you one too. So
yeah, I figured.
you'd have to be careful that your tail don't get caught in the Prius.
All right. One of these days, I'll get one just for you.
Sweet.
So,
Well,
right.
once again, I want to thank everybody that came to Mount Pleasant. That was such a crowd. It was so fun. Everybody did so good, and everybody I talked to had fun. Seeing the kids down there, it was got some cool graphics put on the old Grizzly this time. I didn't even mention that when Jason was on here, but really represents well from Midwest where it came from, and give Adam Wickel, a shout out. He did a great job, even though I will tell you, I don't like to say I cuss very often, and I know Danny didn't cuss, but it was everything we could do to not use 4-letter words. And we opened up the pizza box and seen how many stickers were in there. And 4.5 hours later, though, it looked like a whole different machine. I had several people thought we got a different machine. It's like, no, it's just a really nice graphics, but high quality, done really well. It was pretty nice. So give him a shout out. It was pretty good. So
and that's Wickel Designs, right?
Yep. So we tried a couple places to get them and could never get them. And somehow or another, Adam had a magic wand and waved over it. Next thing you know, instead of getting 2 or 3 graphics like we were getting from other places, we got I think it was 131. I knew it was over 100. It was 131 pieces that went on that thing. And I think a lot of it has to do is because it's obviously utility and, and fill in all but yeah, it's crazy. Even riding it looks, I just feel like I'm on a different machine. So, but it wasn't about me making the machine look cool, nothing like that. It was trying to give respect to Jason for all the help he gives us. And, and he's helped me now with 2 machines. And I can't thank him enough. So we just wanted to show respect to him. So that's what that was all about. But
all right.
Cool.
All right.
Well, if you can take the rest here for about 4 more minutes, you can say we, held you to an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. No, I think we've got some homework. You and I do get points done for next race or next podcast along with hole shots, so we can kind of start sharing that information with everybody. I know there's been a lot of hole shot shirts handed out because I've got a list of shirts that have to be made again. So we've handed out probably, I want to say 50 to 60 shirts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now that's obviously counting kids too, right?
Counting kids as well. So
yeah,
it's a lot of shirts. So some repeat winners, but other new winners. So
nice. Well, this is a year. We start out the year with you want to race, then we get to in the middle of the season. It's been perfect weather so far with bonus points races. All of the races leading up to it count for something being at the Pinland, or your starting spot. But yet everyone, well, not the Pinland, we don't have hole shots there, but everything leads up to Murray, now Now we have only 2 races left with Cahokia. Then we obviously have the Penland that don't count. But then the last time to have a shot, the whole shot, will be at Weldon in September.
Yeah.
You know, so. And again, it was really cool to see David Bear and his family there. David raced with us on Saturday, the owner of Weldon. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so a lot of stuff. Seems like this one's important for the next one all year long, you know, and lost in all this, Chris, is registration, I think, is open for Iowa State Fair, isn't it?
It is open. Yep.
Yep. Which is also, isn't it kind of interesting? All of our August races are pre-entry only. So
Yep.
no paying registrations, no signing up at any race in August. So, but
Yep, and that'll fill up quick. So if you want a spot, you know, I think you've said it several times with the state fair that we're limiting a top 16. So first 16 individuals in the adult classes locks in that class. So if it's all series, then another person with TT specialized bike or, you know, that has that experience can't join that class. So it's open right now to anybody. We normally don't turn away kids, but I think at some point, if we may need to start looking into that, but we haven't turned away a kid yet. So always make do.
and that's just a special race to say I race at the Iowa State Fair. That's pretty cool.
And it's a state regional, right? Or AMA state. I'm going to slaughter it.
Championship.
Championship, right?
AMA Iowa State Championship. And then, you know, again, here we go. Only in August. August is a special year or a special month for us. But Canesville, let's don't forget, with everything going on at Canesville that we've talked about, that is the very first AMA Missouri State Championship is the Penland. You know, so I know I say it all the time, and sometimes I feel like I'm joking, but I'm serious. If I'm a Missouri guy, there ain't no way you're going to come in and take my opportunity to win my first AMA state championship in my state. There's no way.
Yeah.
If I'm the Missouri guys, man, I'm pulling together. We're going to sweep it this time, you know. And there's been some of the fastest guys we've ever had is from Missouri, whether it be past or present, you know. Man, there's Missouri is, well, they got, let's be honest, they have a lot more history in racing cross country than Iowa does. You know, when we started out, we had a lot. We put our tail between our legs there for a long time with them boys. I think they were born on 4-wheelers down there, you know. So, but yeah, 2 AMA state championships back to back, Iowa, Missouri. You know, August 1st and August 15th. I don't think sometimes people realize how big that is, you know, to have an opportunity at that. And there's not a lot of opportunities. So that's pretty cool. So, and I'm dying. I meant to call my wife today and I didn't get it done. I'm hoping maybe she can check tomorrow. The Penland trophies, they have to be really close to getting here, you know. I'm like Christmas, you know. I'm gonna be mad at her if she opens it before I get home, you know, one of these days. I want to see it. You know, so
you will know, I think, if they arrive on how many boxes. Right?
Yes.
It's going to be semi full of
No, actually, no. Honestly, we could probably fit these in your Prius. They no, I'm not lying, Chris. These are so expensive to have molded and everything. And we're doing one for each class. Again, we've talked about this normally I would think when I hear and I see what's going to be given out, that would be an overall trophy. But you know, I think Trace is still mad at me that I just don't want to do that. I want this to be an educational, you know, I want to see that little kid picture of him having it up on his mantle, you know, in his bedroom and friends coming over and what is this, you know, and talking about educating people on who Mike Penland is, you know, and how I got this. And that's why we're doing it to every class. But yeah, I can tell you, Chris, they're so expensive. We've got 5 extra ones coming. That's it. So what do we got? 23, 24 classes. That means we've got
30
28
roughly.
to 30 at the most of them coming. They're just so expensive. I just couldn't do anymore. So I pray that they're not like the corn cobs. And that last time we probably got a dozen of them broke by the time they got over here from shipping and everything. So that can't happen. That can't happen. So, but anyway, Chris, you've successfully gotten us to
Yes.
So, yep. Congratulations. I never doubt you anymore. So,
Oh man, it's getting deep.
so yeah.
All right. Well,
Cool.
thanks for everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more information to share. We'll slowly start talking about Canesville. I think we got to kind of get our attention towards Cahokia first. So,
Correct.
all right. We'll we'll see everybody next week. Thanks.